Meeting of City Council to order on Thursday, July 9th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Let's rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Okay. Is there any way to turn it up?
Can you hear me now?
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
She always can hear your voice. Okay, roll call. Mrs. Conley. Here. Mr. Frazier.
Here.
Mr. Gross, we're going to give him a few minutes.
I don't know.
Mr. Howell.
Here.
Mrs. Powell.
Here.
Mrs. Race.
Here.
Miss Atchison is here.
Spaghetti? Do you want spaghetti?
Can you hear me now? Was that better? All right. We are on the public comments portion of the agenda. The council welcomes and encourages the public to speak during the public comment and public hearing portion of the agenda. However, council policy is to hear the public comment, not to act on the public comment at this time. Concerns brought before the council during the public comment portion of the agenda will be referred to the city manager for action. If after communicating with the city manager, no resolution is reached, the concern will be elevated to the mayor and then eventually to the council for action. Those citizens wishing to speak on agenda and non-agenda items will be allowed a maximum of 4 minutes each to address their concerns. This is the only time during the council meeting that citizens are allowed to address the council. Please state your name and address for the record if you would like.
Thanks. I think it's on now.
Oh my God.
All right, council, I'm up here tonight. I'm sorry, Jake Watson, Cedar Springs. I'm up here tonight to merely ask you to reflect on some things and to share some observations that I hope you will consider. Tonight, you'll be discussing the red flannel medallion, and after speaking to many of our town citizens, it's become clear to me that the medallion is really a deeper issue than just a wall decor. The real issue is that we're approaching a crossroads. And these crossroads are asking us to consider whether or not Cedar Springs is and will remain the red flannel town. If you look around town, you would never notice that this is or ever was the red flannel town. And I question if that is intentional. It appears that our town's shared identity has been eroded almost completely. You don't see it on any signs in our parks and our streets and any public space at all, except for on one clock tower. And despite this erosion, that has already taken place, we cannot in fact divorce Cedar Springs from red flannels. And I'm speaking, of course, of the spirit that makes red flannels what they are to our town. I don't mean the actual fabric. The item that brought us together 90 years ago isn't what's important. What's important is the reason we put the garments on and the reason we celebrate with a festival to begin with. It's the spirit of community. To be completely frank, 90 years of heritage isn't something that you outgrow. It's something you either honor or excuse yourself from. Regardless, this current situation begs the question, if we allow the erosion of our identity, what then is this city using as a measure of success? And I ask this with all due respect, though it does appear that perhaps our shared identity has simply not been valued by those making these decisions. Perhaps there's a desire to move away from the red flannel image. Perhaps that image is too much of a stigma for this city's liking, of being a podunk town that still celebrates an outdated idea. That perhaps that we are a lesser Mayberry-like people who come together to celebrate their neighbors and their heritage. So I ask, what direction are we taking? Is it the intent to foster economic development at any and all costs? To finally have the luxury of grand architecture and a pretentious attitude to go with it? So let me be clear. No one is forced to serve a community whose identity they find beneath them. I ask this not to accuse or to assume, but to reflect. Because if that is the case, I would caution 99% of the good people of Cedar Springs, the taxpayers who you represent, are far from pretentious. In fact, they are the same 99% who, if polled, would vote for this council to restore the town's identity by replacing the flannels back into our public spaces. And I know this because I did poll our community. And out of a sample size of over 1,200 people, 99% of them said with their vote that they want to see their town's identity restored. 99%, my friends, is what you call a mandate. I will speak only briefly on the medallion itself, and this is where my perspective has changed recently. The medallion is a representation of our identity, and our identity is not subject to yours nor my interpretation of interior design. This building belongs to the citizens who pay for it, not to the city as an entity, nor to the people who inhabit it as a workplace. This building is not a luxury item to be held above the hands of your constituency while telling them, don't touch, this isn't for you. I understand it is not feasible to hold an election for every item hung on the wall. However, the truth is the medallion did hang on the wall of the former city hall for a decade, setting the precedent for it to be hung here. And by not hanging it here, you are signaling to the people of the city that the city has moved on from being the red flannel town while they have not. So let me be clear once again, and this goes to everybody on the city's payroll. If you find 90 years of community heritage too provincial for your tastes, I'd respectfully suggest that the problem isn't the town, it's your presence in it. Additionally, sitting before you is a separate but related issue. Really, it's a unique opportunity, and I really hope you understand this. You have the opportunity and should take this opportunity to stand side by side with the festival board and publicly rededicate Cedar Springs as the red flannel town. Because my friends, as someone who has his fingers firmly to the pulse of this community, I can assure you a perception of conflict still exists between the city and the festival in our town. And that perception needs to be put to rest publicly and permanently. And if you are hesitant to reach out to the festival board, well, fear not, because I already did. I spoke with Matt Andrews, president of the festival board. He's here with us tonight. And while I don't speak on his behalf, I will share that he did assure me that he is willing to rededicate Cedar Springs right alongside with you and hang those flannels right alongside with you. Please know that I appreciate your consideration and truly come from a place of deep respect for all of you. My job, as you all know, is to ask these tough questions and to hold this council and these city leaders accountable. Because just as you answer to the people of this community, so too do I answer to the people of this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead.
My name is Laura Nozell, and I want to speak to the importance of the red flannel medallion and why it should continue to be displayed at City Hall. Mayor Ron Merlington, who served on the council for decades, commissioned the red flannel medallion for the council chamber. The city paid hundreds of dollars for it, and it remained on display for many years, even after his retirement. It was never just a piece of artwork. It represented the city's long-standing partnership with the festival and the community's shared history. During a trademark dispute between the city and the festival, Mayor Watson destroyed the medallion and publicized its destruction. 2 council members were later recalled over the same issue. Afterward, Mayor Jerry Hall, Mayor Pro Tem Pam Conley, and the festival leadership resolved this dispute, restoring the 87-year relationship between the festival and the city. That resolution demonstrated that people with differing opinions could come together and move forward for the benefit of the community. Following Ron Merlington's unexpected passing, the festival spent money to recreate the medallion. A dedication ceremony was held with his wife Shirley, his children, and extended family. The replacement was a gesture of goodwill, respect, and reconciliation. It honored not only Mayor Merlington's service, but also the relationship between the city and the festival. I have lived in this community for over 50 years and served on the festival board for over 10 years. I cannot imagine why a medallion representing our community, our 87-year history, and the legacy of Mayor Ron Merlington would not be displayed. I did hear some council members say the medallion didn't fit the decor or that they didn't know its history. I respectfully suggest that history matters. Your constituents care about preserving the traditions that make Cedar Springs unique, and our local businesses value the significant economic and cultural impact at the Red Flannel Festival. I encourage you to learn more, visit the museum, talk with longtime residents, speak with the hundreds of volunteers who have dedicated countless hours to making the festival successful for generations. After 87 years, whether the red flannel medallion belongs at City Hall should no longer be in question. Does Traverse City debate honoring its Cherry Festival? Does Holland question its Tulip Festival? Those communities proudly embrace the traditions that define them, and Cedar Springs should do the same. We trust you will do the right thing for the city, the festival, and the legacy of Mayor Ron Merlington by returning the red flannel medallion to its rightful place in City Hall.
Thank you. Can I remind you to try and get as close to the mic as you can?
Hello, good evening. My name is Courtney Tier Haynes, and I live on Elm Street in Cedar Springs. There has been discussion and talk by this council to remove the red flannel emblems and signs that have been a symbol of our town for the last 90 years, not only from the new city hall, but from signs that decorate our city. There have also been statements about the red flannel clothing not being made anymore or even associated with the city of Cedar Springs. 3 years ago, the Red Flannel Factory, which was established in 1936, the maker of red flannel clothing and accessories that made our town what it is today, was on the verge of leaving Cedar Springs for good. I made the decision to purchase the business and red flannel license. I live in Cedar Springs, and as a mother of two, who because of the financial commitment to bringing the red flannel back to life, has had to have a full-time job, and in my spare time, I do work tirelessly to keep the tradition alive. My entire family, from my grandparents, my mother and father, my brother and sister, my children, have all lived in the Cedar Springs community and have always supported and been proud of the red flannel town and its tradition. That's 90 years of support. I feel what the council is failing to see is what you might deem aesthetically unpleasant, we call tradition. Tradition is the invisible glue of human society. It bridges generations by passing down accumulated wisdom, core values, and cultural identity. It serves as a living blueprint that provides a vital sense of community and belonging. You can't have Frankenmuth without the Bavarian Festival, Traverse City without the Cherry Festival, Holland without the Tulip Festival, and you certainly cannot have Cedar Springs without the Red Flannel Festival, a festival which is solely based on the red flannel clothing and includes all the signs and banners that are so important to the festival and its city. Please, as council members and representatives of the people of Cedar Springs, get to know your community and what merchants sell. This is an unwavering and set in stone requirement for your position and responsibilities with the city. I am not willing to give up on my community, my friends, the legacy of the red flannels, and the deeply rooted traditions that I and many, many town people hold so dear. I hope you are not either. Thank you.
Thank you.
Howdy. My name is Don McCollum. I don't have an address.
You?
What?
Just a second, she's got it.
Okay. Well, I couldn't hear you guys, so what does it matter? Okay, anyways, big tragedy in the city, okay? And it started about 5 years ago. And started with the libraries over there. And library said that they're going to turn off the Wi-Fi at nighttime, right? Well, guess what? The only reason they gave us to turn it off was that the minors were hanging around, not the adults. You know, but the adults took the most of the punishment. You know, the minors, they flew in the wind, you know? So that's where it started. You know, and that other sergeant before Paulson, he was the one that really stirred up the pot, you know? and, had the Wi-Fi only turned on for like 8 hours in the day, 8 hours a day. When, um, when we tried, to tell them, hey, we're not minors, we're adults, we're elderly, etc. We ain't got a time limit, to sit there. Okay? And, but anyways, the other sergeant, I can't even remember what his name is. He retired already, or what do you want to call it? Anyways, he left it. He left. And then Sergeant Paulson, right? He's the one you got now. And well, I've known him for a couple of years here, But now with this new law that they got for the parks and stuff like that, which I never knew about, I was down south for the winter and my van broke down there. So it took me a little while to get back. But now he's profiling and targeting elderly and people that he knows ain't got no address. I could probably get one, but that still is just a mailing address. Mailing address? Okay? But he's profiling and targeted. I was up here for one day. And then next day that he came around here, gave me a warning notice. Whichever one that is. Warning notice. Okay. Says stay out of the stinking park. Fine. We tried to stay out of the park. So we went over there to the heart of Cedar Springs, Nice place to visit.
The 4 minutes is up.
What?
You have a time limit. We have comments because we have a lot of comments.
Get to it, yeah. So anyways, as soon as I get over there, a week later, he's there throwing me out of that park too. And then he never put the addresses down there, except after you get thrown out. After you get thrown out, you can't go to Morley. After you get thrown out, you can't go to Heart of Cedar Springs. That is quite unfair, unjust, and terrible. This is not a city that I knew yet, and that was 5 years ago or better. Now it's turned into, and please don't take it wrong, criminals,
Okay. Well, thank you.
And that's right there.
We'll take your comments under advisement. We will.
It would be nice just to take that thing back out. The law, whatever it is, they made it in the middle of winter.
Okay.
And this guy here, he's threatening me right now.
No, he's just, it's time,
Yeah.
the time limit is up.
Yes, I know what time it is. But
Thank you.
there's a couple things there for 4 minutes, so I was on there, but. Okay. See what I mean? Right. And that's what they did to me in Algoma too.
Have a seat.
I know it. Oh, I said my piece. It took me a month to get it to say it, but I'm gonna leave. I don't need you to help me. You're threatening me. You are. So He's threatening me.
Well, good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. My name is Dominic Merlington. I am the son of the late Ronnie Merlington. I was born in Cedar Springs, educated here, and I'm no longer a resident. Right now I live in Sand Lake, so I didn't get too far from home. I'm way up north now, so. But anyway, I was asked to speak on an issue because I heard about this from one of the council members, and they asked if I would speak kind of on behalf of my father. One thing I could never pretend to do is tell you what my father would have said. He was a very honorable man. I guess, let me stick to the script before I ramble on too much. Okay. I know many years ago, there was turbulence between the city and the festival. And I know this was really hard on my father. He had friends on both sides of the aisle with things that were going on with the festival at that time, had to do with the logo. Probably a lot of you know what the history was. One of the sad results of that turbulence, as we could call it, was the destruction of the festival medallion that hung in City Hall. Well, after a period of time, there was a special meeting of the council whose purpose was to be presented in his honor, a new medallion that the festival presented in honor of his memory. So why is it that, really a big deal about the medallion and whatnot? And with my father involved in this whole affair, I know the whole thing hurt him. I can tell you that pretty much. It was a tough time in his life. But I can say that my father absolutely loved the city of Cedar Springs. He took his council membership, and he was mayor for a long time, very seriously. I remember him studying at home, getting phone calls. One thing he did is he took his job seriously, even as an educator. He taught in Cedar Springs all of his life. Everything he did, he took seriously. And he also loved the festival as much as he loved the city and his job and his family. He also loved my mother, Shirley, who in turn loved the city of Cedar Springs. And, she loved it so much that for many, many years, she was director of the festival, among other things, a myriad of things. So I can extol the virtues of my parents and go on and on and on, but that's not, why I'm here. It's just that the city and the festival meant a lot to them both, as it does to me, even though I'm a resident of Sand Lake, because I come here every year for the festival. I enjoy Cedar Springs and shopping here and the people that are here. So I guess my point is, bottom line is that I feel, and my father did also, I know that for sure, that the festival and the city are forever intertwined, and you should be proud of that legacy and that fact. And you can tell somebody, you're from Cedar Springs, and I have had this happen. This is not a joke. It's not like I'm making up, but they say, oh, you're from the Red Flannel Town. And that's a fact. And the fact that it's happened last night, I was talking to somebody. So this is something I just say, it's the truth. That's who the city, that's their identity. Not the only thing, for their identity, but that's a major part of it. I would like to see to continue to embrace that. And I can speak on behalf of both my parents when I say that the significance of the festival to the identity of the city is immense. And there's no better place for the medallion to hang than its rightful place back in City Hall. Council, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Way to get me out of the woodwork than to do something with Red Flannel Festival that's not in keeping with the culture of Cedar Springs, which it is a cultural event. As a matter of fact, when there was this debate before where times were tight and cuts had to be made, and then there was a dispute and things didn't go well. There was a lot of hurt on both sides, I think well-intentioned on both sides, but nonetheless, we got through it. And the reason that the city can justify every year giving in-kind services to the festival is because it is part of our heritage and culture now for the years. But this is a symptom. Council, you have a situation, and that's up to you if you decide it's a problem. But here's the situation. So we're going to rewind a little bit back to the Sand Lake fire thing that they had going on up there. And when people up there said, oh, Sand Lake's been talking to Cedar Springs, I almost burst out laughing. I said, that's ridiculous. We hire professional people. And I've talked to my council members, I've talked to my representatives, you know, the people who work for me, and they don't have any idea that that's going on. So I'm telling you, that's not possible. I was incredibly wrong. And matter of fact, it almost came to a FOIA request because I'm talking to my council representatives and I don't know that these talks are actually happening with the city manager. Until you guys decided that, hey, you know, to tell the city manager, we're not pursuing this. That feels like a scope issue. And I need you to decide where the city manager's scope ends and yours begins, because there's also posts on the Solon against the data center. They're like, oh, Cedar Springs is talking about water for the data center. Are we? Do you know? I don't. I don't think my representatives are doing that, but I don't know. So this thing with the medallion is a symptom, because were you consulted? Or was there a perhaps well-intentioned decision made outside of a scope of practice? That feels like a situation, council. I'm guessing that those are just the instances that I know of. What don't I know and what don't you know is the problem. And as to Don's point, a little bit of a separate issue, I was deeply disappointed in the vagrancy law that this council passed, which is exactly what's gotten him kicked out of a couple parks, because he is unhoused. The average American is 3 months away from homelessness because of medical problems, job loss, tragedy, you name it. There, but for the grace of God, go I. And shame on you guys for passing that. You didn't think it through. It was without compassion. Thank you for your time this evening, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
My name is Christine Merlington. I'm here to tell you that the state of Michigan knows the red flannels. They don't know who any of you are. I belong to the American Legion Auxiliary. I am the first vice president for the Department of Michigan, which means I go all around this state and volunteer my time and talk to people. I also know that for the past 45 years, the department presidents and the department commanders have been given red flannels for gifts every January. They are all happy and excited to get these red flannels. I also know that when I show up at these meetings that I go to from the UP, both sides of the UP, all the way down to the corner of Detroit, you walk around, you're shaking hands, you say, hi, I'm Christine Merlington from Cedar Springs. Oh, you're from the red flannel town. I don't think one of those people could tell me who Pam, Ron, Renee, Lisa, Rose, Merton, or Jerry are, but they can tell Cedar Springs is the red flannel town. They know that the Red Flannel Festival is the first weekend in October. Very few people in the entire state of Michigan don't know about the Red Flannel Festival. So to me, that medallion means a lot to this state, not just this city. And that medallion should be on the wall in this city, representing this city, because that is what this city is. This city is not you, 7 people. This city is red flannel. This city is Cedar Springs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Josh Volk. I'm from Grattan Township. I'm here representing Gina Johnson, who's running for state senate in the area. The seat is currently being held by Rick Outman, who has endorsed Gina. She is currently a state rep from the Portland area. Just a little bit about her. On the local level, she stands for local revenue sharing, ensuring that you all are receiving that money, ensuring that your law enforcement, your fire departments, emergency services are receiving the resources that they need and the training that they need and deserve. Last year, we were happy to see $2 billion go to county and local roads. We know a lot of that money goes to the county, and we'd like to see more get into the local roads because we know your roads are just as important as well and well-traveled. And then just lastly, one thing, big accomplishment, even in minority, when her 2 municipalities in her district were looking to raise taxes to repair a wastewater treatment center, even in minority, she was able to get money from the state to help that project happen. So she's there to fight for her district. She's there to represent the people. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Linda Hunt. I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan, but I'm a Cedar Springs person. And sorry, I've had a stroke, so I cry if you bat an eye at me. But I'm here to talk about these. You know what it is. You've been a cop. You've been there, Marty. You've been there. You've seen what people and what they do and how they react to this. That's something that goes around the state. He's been part of a group that's taken that truck to various parades and so on, and in this western part of Michigan at least. But I served with Ronnie Merlington for 24 of his 28 years on this council. Between Ronnie, John Tusink, Leon Avery, and myself, over 100 years of public service dedicated to this city. And for you to snub, and that's basically what it is, if you make that determination. And we're speaking to something that we haven't heard your opinions on, but only what we hear on off the street, which is not smart. Because I've sat on your seat, I know what it's like. But don't snub him by not placing that in a prominent place in this community, in this room. And one more thing I'd like to say, this has nothing to do with this, but this is not a good place for this podium. The people in this audience cannot hear what's being said because the sound goes that direction. Either move the podium or put up speakers in the back so it can be heard. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you're just swaggering up here. I know.
My name's Mark Laws. What an honor to follow Linda. We got some fantastic people in our heritage. Thank you, Linda. A couple of Merlingtons said a couple of things. I wasn't going to get up here and say anything, but they said something about people knowing about Cedar Springs and the Red Flannel Festival. So about three falls ago after the festival, I left town and headed west, and I went through Indiana and Illinois and Wisconsin and Minnesota and Montana and then Idaho and then Utah and down to Vegas. This is where I was trying to get to. And I stayed for a little while to see some old friends. And then after that, I headed back because by the time I headed back, there was snow on the ground. So I didn't go back through Minnesota and Montana. I went down a little bit south through Colorado and then through Kansas and Missouri and then back up. Anyway, in all the different places that I would stop, not just in Michigan, these are in a lot of different states. People know about red flannels. So, and I don't know how much a tradesman or a trademark person pays to get their logo out there. Our logo is very distinctive. And I think it'd be hard to put a monetary value on what people know about our logo and about Cedar Springs. So I hope we take advantage of that because that's everybody's a little bit of work that they put in. And it'd be interesting to have one of these college people tell you how much it costs to get their logo out there. But anyway, I want us to keep going. I'm just another vote, but anyway, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Claudia Maybe. I'm one of the newcomers to this community. I've only been here over 50 years. And I was just talking to some friends of mine that we can't believe it's been that long. But I will share with you that I've never identified with Cedar Springs without connecting it to Red Flannels, the festival, and this is the Red Flannel Town. I never thought that I would be standing for you to talk about such an unbelievable discussion that is taking place this evening. It's kind of like a no-brainer to those of us who have been involved in the community most all of our lives. So I just encourage you to continue your support of the Red Flannel Festival, our Red Flannel community, and hopefully you'll see your way to display the medallion as it should be displayed in our community home. Thank you.
Is there anybody online? Would anybody online like to make a public comment? If you do, unmute yourself or raise your hand. Okay, seeing none, go ahead.
Bernadette Powell, Solon Township. You guys have done an amazing job. What a building. Huge. I love it. Very modern. I love this. You also have a new fire department. Wow, that is amazing also. The library, you guys have some incredible buildings in this town, not to mention the heart of Cedar Springs and the state trail that walks through this place. Maybe we should go further than just a medallion in City Hall. Maybe we should have one at the library. Maybe we should have one at the fire department. Spread the joy of Red Flannel. It is a community touchstone, and I'd like to see it back up. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Falcon has a public comment to read.
This came in through email. Dear City Council, I'm writing to ask, I would like to encourage you to find a safe place within the new City Hall to display the Red Flannel Medallion. Red flannel is synonymous to Cedar Springs. I purchased my first home in 1977 and fell in love with our Red Flannel town and everything it represented. Cedar Springs is a great place to live, work, and play. I remain proud to be part of the city and the Red Flannel heritage. After reviewing the council meeting regarding the medallion, the issue seems to be where it should be placed. I would encourage having it placed inside the council room, in the foyer, or even displayed safely outside as you enter the building in a weatherproof glass display. Thank you, Penny Dietrich.
Thank you. Did you want to share that other email?
Hi. I'm Tracy Beals. I'm a resident of Cedar Springs. I was born and raised and moved away, went to college, went to the big city, which was Grand Rapids, and found my way back home to Cedar Springs. Last year, I went to the Candidates Forum at the Kent Theater when we had our elections. And one of the things that instilled in me was Rose Powell's comment about instilling what Cedar Springs means. And I think that identifies with Red Flannel Day. I'll take you back to a little history lesson. I had two sets of grandparents that both had businesses on Cedar Springs. Jack McCoy had the Red Flannel Cafe, and my grandpa Hill had the Hills Bakery. That was in the 1960s. They were also friends with Nina Babcock and Grace Hamilton when Red Flannels brought Cedar Springs to the map. And what I came away from that, candidates forum was, I think so many people are removed from what Cedar Springs means and values to everybody that lives here. It is deep-seated in our blood, red flannels. And it really would be saddened if we still have the separation between Red Flannel Day and Cedar Springs. Because I will tell you, without red flannels, Cedar Springs will shrink. We will lose funding, we will lose people. We're already threatened with the data center, and there's a lot of black back things going on there and a lot of rumors. And I tell you, I am so anxious about that because that is going to threaten our community and it's going to threaten our town. And I think we need to have the medallion to keep us together so we know what grew this town, this family, this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Michelle Tracy, former city council member and former president of the festival for many years, 17 or so, through the dark times that we had, and back into the sunlight. I just want to say, I think
Any other public comments? Okay, seeing none, we will move on. So, we are moving on to the adoption of the agenda.
Madam Mayor, I will make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented unless the city manager has anything.
I'll second that.
Okay, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, the same? All right, let's move on to adoption of the consent agenda.
Sent as present.
Thank you. I will take a roll call vote. Mrs. Conley?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Howell?
Yes.
Mrs. Powell?
Yes.
Mrs. Race?
Yes.
Ms. Atchison votes yes. Motion carries. And we're on to action items. Action 7A, motion to approve Williams and Works to update the 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan for the 2027-2031 period based on their proposal on an hourly reimbursement basis not to exceed $12,500. Mrs. Falcon?
Okay, so it's time to update our Parks and Rec plan. This is needed. This is very instrumental in receiving grant dollars. The Heart of Cedar Springs grant we just got. If we didn't have this in place, we wouldn't even be able to apply for those kind of grants. So it's due by the end of the calendar year. We were trying to wait till the fiscal year to get funding in the same year and match that with the expenses. I tried to get 3 quotes, but one company, they're already currently doing 2 other companies or cities' Parks and Rec plans, so they did not submit a bid. We work monthly with Williams and Works. They're our city planner and know a lot about the city. They just helped us update our master plan. So I think it just makes sense to hire them to keep going with our planning and help us update our Parks and Rec plan.
Any questions?
I was wondering, how much, are we still getting the money from all of the townships that the Parks and Rec serves, and how much?
So the Cedar Springs Area Parks and Recreation The city contributes 7,500, I believe. Algoma Township is part of that. Nelson Township went away for a while, but they are now back. And Solon Township. Portland is not part of it anymore.
Do they contribute as much? Or-
$7,500 a year.
Okay, so they will also be putting money in on this?
No. This is specifically a city Parks and Rec plan. The Parks and Rec, Cedar Springs Area Parks and Rec Board, at least when I was on the board, they created their own plan and sought their own funding. Again, I'm not on that board anymore. That's now my finance director. But when I was on the board, they created their own plan and applied for pickleball courts to be located in Solon Township. They didn't get the funding that year. I don't know if they've submitted additional grant applications or not.
So we'll be paying for that, or will the Parks and Rec be paying for that? Just us?
Just us will be paying for this plan. I would like them at the table as, steering committee or whatever, but they have their own plan for like the programs that they hold at the school.
Yes.
Passed. This plan is separate from, or it's a piece of the greater Parks and Rec. So when we're looking at this plan, this is what we use to get grants for things like the new park that we just had.
Yeah.
Or along the trail. So to clarify, like, it isn't for parks in other communities. It's a
Correct.
plan just for here.
Just our city?
Just our city limits, yeah.
It's not the Parks and Rec?
No.
But we then coordinate it with them. For example, if we're going to do something like the trail, that so we can connect, because part of
Multi-jurisdictional.
part of getting the grants is that do we have multiple groups talking to each other?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the point of it. And the more of that stuff that we can have on the shelf,
Yeah.
ready to go, that can match up with the grant, the more likely we are to get the grant, which is how we were able to get the stuff for the heart. It's how we were able to get the small pocket. It's how, going, but it's that forward vision of that, so that when the dollars are available, you can go put in the ask.
This will be good for 5 years, this plan.
Can I get a motion?
I will make that motion. Do you need, Madam Clerk, do you need me to read it off? So I would like to make a motion to, hold on, let me go find it. To approve the Williams and Works to update the 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan for the 2027 to 2031 period based on the proposal on an hourly reimbursable basis not to exceed $12,500. Correct?
I'll second that.
All right. Mrs. Conlon,
Yes.
Mr. Howell,
Yes.
Mr. Frazier,
Yes.
Mrs. Powell,
Yes.
Ms. Atchison votes yes. Motion passes. Oh, sorry, Renee.
Yes.
And would you motion to excuse?
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we're on to letter B. Motion to approve Civic Pulse to update and host website services in an amount not to exceed $5,198.02 and authorize the Assistant City Manager to execute the statement of work. Mrs. Falcon.
If you don't mind, I'll
Oh,
give you
I'm sorry, Mrs. Johnson.
Sure. So if you haven't visited our website recently, I encourage you to do so. We have known for quite some time that we need to make some improvements on there. Funding wasn't available, a number of other things as well, including staff time. We now have the funding budgeted for in this fiscal year, and we have the staff time to be able to tackle that project. It is a really large undertaking to redo a website. So we've provided with you 3 different quotes for your consideration. The main reasons for this is that our current website is no longer being effectively managed by our domain administrator. So it's very difficult to get a hold of her. The last time, she did the website, it was in 2008. She has moved on from her profession of website development. So congratulations to her. However, we need to have a website administrator that is responsive and able to take care of our needs as the city of Cedar Springs. So that will bring about a modernized website, bringing it into 2026, improving the user experiences for both residents, businesses, staff, everyone that would visit that page. Additionally, the project would transition our domain from a .org to a .gov domain. That gives us some additional cybersecurity and verification with the federal government. So that is a best practice that we really should move to. So that project would encompass that. Additionally, we will be required to provide ADA compliance by 2028. So that would bring us into compliance before that deadline. So altogether, these are critical updates beyond just having a nice looking website. It's going to bring additional features as well to users. So my recommendation after reviewing several of our options, we have 3 there listed for you, is Civic Plus. They already integrate with several of our other systems, and I'm happy to answer any of the questions you might have.
Any discussion?
Is this the company that I was looking on that other cities have been using?
Possibly. I'm not quite sure.
Can I get a motion?
Many communities use Civic Plus as a municipal website.
Okay, thank you. I would like a motion, please.
Us to update and host the website services in an amount not to exceed $5,198.02. And authorize the assistant city manager to execute the statement of work.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Just thank you to Rebecca for taking this on. It needs to happen. And of course, the 504 support teacher is all about the accessibility. And if our previous website is 1 year younger than my adult son, who is now able to vote, I don't even know what to say. That needed to happen. So thank you for making that happen.
All right. Mr. Frazier. Mrs. Powell.
Yes.
Mrs. Race.
Yes.
Mr. Howell. Mrs. Conley.
Yes.
Ms. Atchison votes yes. Motion passes. All right, we are on to discussion items. Discussion A, Red Flannel Agreement for Medallion, email from RFF for Red Flannel Festival Medallion. Mrs. Falcon, did you want to add anything?
Just maybe inform everybody after the last council meeting, per your instructions, I did meet with Matt Andrus, the current president for Red Flannel Festival. Had a very good meeting. I've met with Red Flannel as the city manager for the last 3 years. When we meet with the board and the city, it's wonderful. We're planning this great event that's happening, and I look forward to continuing for that to happen.
Any discussion, board?
Sure.
Get a little closer to your mic.
I really appreciate there's a lot of faces and names here that have triggered a lot of memories, very nice memories. Ronnie Merlington in particular, meticulous as he was. And I guess I just sit here and I turn and I look, and here's our heritage. This is a wonderful logo. This is very nice. You come through the doors into this new, if you will, remodeled city hall. And here's a statement in the sense of the future. And that's great. It looks very nice. And I will say, why not take that, which has been part of us forever, and please raise it up and fix it to the wall so that not only do you see what we have future and where these very professional people are taking us and the community, what we're trying to achieve, but that history behind us and that support and everything else, just turn around from here and see where we're from and everything else, and we'll always be that's, and I'm prepared to make a motion according.
Go ahead. If you want to make a motion.
I make a motion that, what's the proper term, please?
Red flannel medallion?
Medallion,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
11 years ago.
Be permanently mounted in the city hall on the wall where it sits now.
Madam Mayor, I would like to make a comment before that motion.
Okay, well, we can make the motion and you can comment. Does anybody want to second that motion?
I will second that.
Okay.
Suggest we put it in the lobby, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Okay, Mr. Frazier, what was your comment?
In regard to the red flannel medallion, looking at the audience, I know just about everybody in here. I've been was knee deep into the Red Flannel Festival probably 25 years. Keystone Cop, Fire Chief, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to see hard feelings between the festival and the city, not at all. I'm not going to tell everybody that I love the festival. However, I'm spent a lot of time participating, and everybody that was at the last meeting knows how I feel about things in the past. I don't want to see the Red Flannel Festival logo medallion ruined. However, I think hanging it in a building where it gets frequented by city people 99% of the time to pay their taxes, their water bills, et cetera, is doing that service, that medallion injustice. I think we need to find a place, maybe out in the 425 with Solon Township. We have a sign out there. We have a sign south of town. We have a sign at the cemetery. I understand it's not waterproof. It's not weatherproof. But I just noticed pulling in the parking lot tonight, there's a nice brand new bulletin board box out there that, as far as I know, is waterproof. Let's figure out something like that and put it on the city limits, north, south, east, or west. Let the people passing through our town appreciate that thing rather than just the few that come into City Hall. Like I said, people that come in City Hall are 99% residents. They know all about it. Let's get it out there, advertise it, put it out for the public to see. And I know not everybody's going to agree with me, but that's my feelings, and I is a little bit farther into this, I'll agree with Ms. Conley. Instead of putting it in the council chambers, if that's what the majority ends up voting on, let's put it out in the lobby so the people that do come into City Hall can enjoy it too. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Okay, let's vote on the motion that's on the table. Okay, yeah, just a minute, Rose, just a minute. I'm sorry, I didn't think anybody else had comments because nobody spoke up. So, but that is up to me to decide to ask for. Go ahead, Rose.
And thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. And I do have to say, give Darla lots of credit. She does a wonderful job working with the festival, and I think everybody appreciates her input, and our sheriff's department that helps with so many things. Our Keystone Cops, although Marty's retired, we like them to, ride in the truck at the old fire truck, at least do that for us, would you please? And just all the people who work their guts out for this festival, and it's for our people, our community, and we love y'all. Thank you.
Mrs. Race, do you have a comment?
I've heard and I appreciate all the warming comments from everyone. There's a lot of history in this room right now. And it makes me proud to be sitting here and calling it Red Flannel Town. I think the medallion should hang on that back wall. And that's what I have at this time.
I would also like to say that thank you to everybody that showed up, because this is where you get your opinions and your feelings heard, right? Coming to a meeting and telling us what you want is going to get you a lot further than trying to put it out on social media or anything else, because we don't always see every comment on social media. But we do hear you when you come here and make your public comment. So thank you. All right, let's vote on our motion. Ms. Conley,
Yes.
Mr. Howell, Mrs. Race,
Yes.
Mrs. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Frazier. On putting the medallion in the back, in here. Okay. And Ms. Atchison votes yes. Motion passes 5-1. Okay, we're on to the red flannel poster. Mrs. Falcon.
The poster was, when we were clearing stuff out of the old city hall, I asked if the museum could hold on to that poster until we decided its fate as well. It was safer over there than here being under construction. Didn't want it to get ruined, so Jake and Sharon both know, they're just holding it for us for a little while, so until whatever's decided.
Any discussion?
I went to the museum to see what was going on with that, and it is there. And that is a replacement poster for the one that was destroyed. And it couldn't be put back up. So we were given another one by the artist Doris Vinton, gave us another one. And Jerry Hall paid to have it framed and placed in our city hall. So the museum actually does have another poster. So perhaps we can bring it here somewhere in City Hall. It's adorable. It's a wonderful work of art. And I guess we'll have to discuss if we're going to put it here in City Hall or where we're going to put it. But anyway, it's there and it's in safekeeping. It's got quite a history, actually.
Is it your understanding that there's an objection from the festival of having it be here?
I couldn't say. It was in the City Hall before.
It was hanging in City Hall. It didn't come down. Did it? Help me.
It's at the museum right now for safety.
Right, but during the kerfluffle,
Yeah,
did it come down?
it was taken in the back and smashed.
Okay, that was kind of it. Got it.
Yeah, that's part of that history. So Doris donated another one and Jerry had it framed and we hung it back up.
We hung it back up. So it's been hanging in City Hall.
Yes.
Okay. It's the poster that was on the side.
Yeah, the
with-
festival and the blue
Okay,
thing.
just make sure.
Yeah.
Is there any reason that couldn't be hung in the lobby?
That would be a great spot for it. People just love that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Doris won a prize for that. Somebody actually tried to steal that art and start selling it. And she caught them and she sued them and she got a nice little chunk of change. And there we go.
I will make a motion that we hang that poster in the lobby of City Hall.
I'd second.
Any more discussion? Yes, Mr. Frazier.
We're starting red flannel paraphernalia in every room in here. The museum's got it for safekeeping. Let's leave it at the museum. let the people that visit the museum enjoy that. Again, we're back to a few city residents that come in here on a daily basis, get to see it. How about the people that travel from Traverse City, Detroit, Flint, Saginaw? Let them get a chance to view our artwork. Thank you.
Anybody else?
museum?
At the museum, yes.
So this would be a duplicate.
The glass is broken and I offered to have the glass repaired so that they could put it back out to display.
Got it. I would help you pay for the glass.
Well, I think, and the library has several, they're all over town, actually.
Would you like to make one?
Doubt if you're in that poster.
Mrs. Ray?
I don't have any comment.
Okay. We have a motion on the table. Let's vote. Mrs. Conley,
Yes.
Mr. Howell, Mrs. Race,
No.
Mr. Frazier,
No.
Mrs. Powell,
Yes.
Ms. Atchison votes no. Yeah. It's 3-3.
Truck route?
Pardon me?
Truck route ordinance?
Yes, we'll move on to the truck route ordinance. Introduction, Mrs. Falcon.
The city currently doesn't have a truck route ordinance. And when I talked with Sergeant Paulson about this and semis traveling all over town, we have to find a way to preserve the streets that we have. There's not extra money to put into, keep redoing streets. The project that we did on Main Street, we brought out those curb bump outs and semis were driving right over them. So in order to have something for the police to enforce when we see semis doing this stuff, we need to have an ordinance on the books. This is a draft. So this is a regulatory ordinance. So this didn't go to Planning Commission, although they've seen the draft. They know we're bringing it to you. In fact, they've requested of me to bring it to you to get something on the books. So this is just a draft. If you like it, we can set a public hearing for the next regular council meeting and proceed from there. If you'd like to see changes, just kind of want to highlight. So a truck route ordinance, I mean, it kind of is what it says, right? Commercial vehicles, the large trucks. This ordinance does not apply to emergency vehicles, buses, farm tractors, solid waste collection vehicles. Those kind of vehicles doesn't apply to them. So again, we would have to hold a public hearing and we would specifically designate streets to be in the truck route or not in the truck route, whatever we choose, and then we would sign them. Of course, there are permits that I can issue for emergencies, emergency truck route, if there's construction being done on a road and the normal truck route. We try not to put dollar amounts in ordinances. We like to set them by the fee schedule. That way, if it's changed, we're just changing the fee schedule. We don't have to hold another public hearing just to change the amount in the fee schedule. So I would request not putting that $125 violation fine in the ordinance, but include the language that says to be set annually by the fee schedule instead. That's pretty much it. Any questions?
Thank you, Darla. I appreciate that. When you go down to the music, and the semis are rolling through there and the dust. You know, we got kids all over and it's a pleasant time and you get a big cloud of dust and 3-4 semis rolling down the street. I think it's time to handle that. Thank you.
Mrs. Conley.
I just would like to know, and maybe you're, please, Sergeant, that can answer this question, but is this written in a manner that is enforceable? That used to be one of the things that Todd Probst always emphasized to us. Don't write an ordinance that we can't enforce. Sure.
Well, we don't.
Okay, then maybe
Yeah.
could also answer, and again, I think it's an excellent idea. I just want to make sure, like, you all are the ones that have to cash this particular check. And so we need to make sure that it is something that you are able to do in a way that is not, like, we had this conversation about speed limits.
Sergeant Paulson, can you speak on that? You have a copy?
Hi, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me okay? Hello, hello, can you hear me?
We do
Hold on, we're trying to turn up
caption on.
All right. Can you guys hear my voice?
John, we can't quite hear you. Can you try
No.
to speak loudly for us?
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm talking pretty loud here. Hello?
Sorry, John, we can't quite hear you. We're working on it. Just one moment.
Okay. Hello?
We do need more speakers.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, hi. Can you guys hear me loud enough?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't know if the
Now,
audience can, but we can hear you.
Okay, I heard everything and then Pam, the second part of your address there got cut off. I know we were talking about the truck ordinance. What was the question?
I basically want to know if there's anything specific in the language of this that makes it difficult for you to enforce. Do we need to word it in any particular way so that it is enforceable for you?
No, I mean, as it's written right now, I didn't see any hurdles. I think, like Darla said, we just needed to determine what the proper route is going to be to have them go through town or go around town, I should say. But the language is pretty straightforward, in my opinion. I don't foresee any issues enforcing it.
Thank you. I'm a big advocate of the people that have to do the thing are the ones who should get to decide what the thing actually looks like in specific.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate that.
thank you for that.
I mean, we're not trying to prohibit semis from coming through Cedar Springs. We just want them to follow a certain route on major streets that are paved much thicker and can handle the weight of those vehicles and stay off of our local streets that are much thinner and get ruined by the weight of the vehicles.
That makes a lot of sense.
Is there like a signage or something that'll?
There's a sign, yep, truck route. And I mean, once it's approved, once the map is established, we can send it to the major businesses that we know have daily deliveries or whatever, so they can pass it on to their drivers.
It's not, we'll go to the business to make a delivery. That's not a, yeah.
So what do you need from us on that right now?
If you agree with the draft I've presented you, I need a motion to set a public hearing for your next regular meeting.
Public, to set a date to hold a public hearing to discuss the ordinance for a truck route for Cedar Springs. Does that work, Madam Clerk?
I will support that.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye. All those opposed, the same. Passes 6-0. Okay, we are on to communications. Ms. Falcon, did you have anything else? Okay, community calendar, event calendar is in the packet, the Cedar Springs community event application. We just did donation agreement, all that's in our packet.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
We're getting what? And we can spend it on whatever.
From the chamber?
Yeah.
Nope, not on anything.
No.
What?
Their donation was restricted to holiday lighting in the downtown
Oh, yeah.
district.
Okay, yeah.
So maintenance, purchase of new additional lights,
Perfect.
labor to put up and down.
Yeah, great. Wonderful.
Okay, department reports. City manager, Mrs. Falcon.
So in addition to what is in your packet, I just wanted to mention a couple things. I am so glad we're updating our website. Oh, I've wanted to do that for a long time, but so that will be a welcome site. We closed on the sale of 66 South Main Street. Woohoo! So we're moving on, and I hope Red Oak Management all the best to remodel and make it what they want it to be. Planning Commission Tuesday night, they are passing 2 more ordinances, so 2 more ordinances will come to you next month from them. Non-conforming uses and allowing multifamily in R1 zoning. Just to give you a little preview. Let's see what else. Yes. Yep. So to follow up on that a little bit, when the master plan was finished, there's like 12 items identified that we want to fix to, bring out the new master plan. And I think we've checked like 5 off the list. So we still have quite a few more to go, but a couple at a time. That's about all we can handle. One more thing I just wanted to mention, the art piece that is in the lot next to City Hall here, that was donated to the city. He has requested that we create a plaque. It's from Eric Bakuli. He and his wife are long-term, lifelong residents of Cedar Springs. His wife passed away a couple years ago, and he donated it to the city in her memory. And I think it needs more. So I reached out to Shaner Avenue Nursery and a couple others to get some ideas of what we need to spruce it up a little bit. Eric, the guy that donated it, has admitted it didn't turn out like he envisioned. He brought us a sample many months ago, maybe 6 or 8 months ago. And it's something that you create kind of on the spot. So as you put the pieces together, it kind of takes its own shape. The plan that he had presented had like paver bricks or cement or something underneath it. It had a little bit more to it. So we'll send me your comments and we'll see what we can do with it. Okay. That is all I had, I think.
Assistant City Manager, Mrs. Johnson.
I have a few DDA updates for you guys. The July DDA meeting has been rescheduled to Monday, July 20th at noon. That is due to early voting. It would normally fall on our regularly scheduled meeting. So I'm just making an accommodation to have this room available for voting. We are continuing to work on our demolition and redevelopment grant. Hopefully we'll have some good information to share at our next meeting. Just wanted to welcome back Teresa Lance. She's returned to help us with the summer concert series. She's a great add to that event. So happy to see her back. We have finalized our welcome packet with some updated information on our move that is available on our website under the important information and documents. That document is also being sent out by our code enforcer to all of our new residents as residents turn over their water and utility services. And then we also have available here at City Hall packets to take home as well. Quick update on FOIA and our Laserfiche project. So I wanted to just reiterate that was a year-long process that we undertook, digitizing all of our records upstairs at our old building. April and I have been working diligently to get those digitized, and we are on near completion on getting that system uploaded into our system. But I just wanted to say, in the last couple FOIA requests that I've had, we've been able to locate the information much quicker, much faster. This is an improvement that not only helps staff, but it also helps the resident experience as well. It's getting information, being more transparent, and also reducing costs to those who request FOIA information. So I'm happy to see that that system is working well, and I'm really looking forward to having the full integration of all of our archive files in our system. Lastly, I've really been working on building a relationship with the community building development team. I just wanted to say thank you for the work that they've done. On June 17th, they worked hard to install benches, grills, tables, and sidewalks down at the heart of Cedar Springs. Those types of connections and groups and organizations that do that work, we want to work with them to facilitate working with the city. So I just wanted to thank them for their immense work and the money that goes into that as well. The only thing I would add is that I appreciate everyone's patience with the audio visual tonight. This is our third meeting in this building, and that's something we're going to continue to work on fine-tuning.
Thank you. We don't have anybody with Department of Public Works.
They're not here, but they gave me things to read. So I just want to, so from DPW, from Tanya's desk, you probably noticed the drive lanes on Muskegon from Main Street to Red Hawk Drive. That is a process called asphalt emulsion, and it was desperately needed. If we didn't do that, like literally those lanes were they were crumbling. So we're trying to preserve, use a little bit of funds in the current fiscal year to preserve that asphalt, because next fiscal year, we plan to completely redo that section of road, including water, sewer, storm sewer, very large project. So I can read you what asphalt emulsions is, but I don't really think it's necessary. I just wanted to share that with everybody, because there are questions, what is that? You know, why didn't we fix the road? Well, we're doing our best to fix it, to preserve it, so we can do a complete project next fiscal year. And then the other thing from Russ Johnson from our utilities department, the wastewater treatment plant is running as it should. We just had a failure of the bearing on the grit system. This was expected, as it had been showing early signs of breakdown for around 2 months. We run this to failure, which takes between 5 and 7 years. This device runs 24/7 and is expected to fail at some point. We keep a spare bearing on hand just for this. As you can see from the monthly report, flow at the wastewater treatment plant is way down. This is also expected for the summer months. We are soliciting bids for pump replacement activities, which we will try to have completed before the end of September. For the water system, everything is business as usual. Before the end of July, we'll be doing some targeted flushing of the system to address water aesthetics. We have some fairly large ticket maintenance items coming up, which include pulling well number 5 for rehabilitation and cleaning, as it is greater than the targeted 30% deficient. 2 well abandonments, the well number 6, the test well. Number 6 is the newest well we just installed, but the test well we put in, we need to pull that. And then the old number 4 that came out of production a couple years ago. And the interior cleaning and painting of the water tower.
Thank you. Sure.
No.
It's already been, well, I think he meant number 3, because number 4 and number 5 are next to each other. I think he meant number 3. Number 3 we capped when we had the arsenic issue and we had the boil water a couple years ago, but we need to physically pull it now. Yeah. Yes, I'm sure.
Thank you. Sergeant Paulson, are you going to give the report
Yeah.
for the?
I would love to.
Thank
Can
you.
you guys hear me still?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Fabulous. All right. Sorry I couldn't make it today. I'm on vacation with a family, but just wanted to give you a couple of quick updates. First of all, is the deputy still in the room?
Yes.
All right. City Council, meet Nick Williams. He's one of our night shift deputies. He's one of 2 Cedar Springs night shift deputies that patrols Cedar Springs. Very proud to say Nick is one of the hardest workers at the Sheriff's Department, and I really mean that. He really is. He comes to work, works a 12-hour shift, and I swear he is the human caffeine molecule of the department. The guy never stops. He does a great job. But I mean, he's very proactive, but he also is, he has that community policing mentality as well. So he's the perfect blend. I think he does a great job for what Cedar Springs needs. So thank you, Nick. Thanks for being there tonight.
Sir.
So this last month has been another great month for the Sheriff's Department. We've done a lot of community outreach again. We went to visit the Village Learning Center, the Brook Retirement Community, Green Acres. We also hosted the Cedar Springs Area Parks and Rec again at the North Substation. We had a great turnout. We had about 40 people that showed up for that event, so that was really nice. That event, it was myself and a couple deputies. We just sat at the front of the room and we allowed everybody to ask questions, law enforcement related or anything else. And we had participation for about an hour and a half, just a lot of good back and forth with the community. So that was a really great event. I look forward to it again. Our next event for that specific, the Cedar Springs Parks and Rec, is in September. So we're preparing for that, looking forward to that. Also looking forward to this Saturday, we have the Cedar Springs, the Cedar Blitz gravel bike race. So I've been working with Marty on that and we are looking good. Thanks to DPW for also helping with all the barricades and everything. But yep, I will be there this Saturday. That should be fun. Weather's looking good so far. We also have been having some meetings lately we're just planning ahead to the North Kent Community Festival in August. That's going to be August 13th. And we're just kind of finalizing the plans for that. It should be another large event for Cedar Springs. So unless you have any questions, that's all I have.
Yes, you may.
Do we have any idea about approximately how many bikes are going to be coming for the bike race?
Ooh, several hundred, but I do not have a number. I think Marty would know, but I do not know.
Okay, just curious. It seems like it gets a little bit bigger every year, and it's very exciting. And then my second question is about the North Kent Festival. Are you going to be doing the backpack giveaway again?
So what we're doing is, as of right now, we're just advertising it as gifts for back to school. We're still working out some donation items from local retailers, but it's going to be something probably, if not backpacks, just something similar related to back to school.
Okay, I had a couple of people ask me about that, and I said, I don't know. I will ask. So thank you for clarifying.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Fire Department Chief Detloff.
You should have my report for the month of June. There shouldn't be too many questions on there. Thankfully, we are seeing a decrease in calls for the year. We're about 17% down for the year, which is a good trend. We want to see that. I don't like seeing any problems going through any of that stuff. But if there's no questions on the report itself, I do have some questions for you. I have been submitting the first due reports, which is our next plan that we're going through for trying to report everything. There's 2 different reports in there. One has a higher detail amount, and the other is more just an overall look at it. Would like to find out if you would prefer one over the other, if you like the detail, or if you would prefer just to have an overall general statement.
It's your new bookkeeping system.
This is what we're in the process of going through, and I apologize it's taking so long. It's a difficult process.
Takes time. But do you like it?
I do. It makes it a lot easier to generate the reports to go through. And our plan is once we get through all of these reports, we'll not only be able to do reports like this to generate, we'll show you heat zones, where the calls are, where we're coming into it, and where the most, attention is needed. This will help us along the lines when we need to start going to full-time, when we need to justify whether or not how many people we need to go through, when our big times is, if it's from 11 to 6 in the morning, all the reports will generate from that.
Excellent. Marty's jealous.
It's really impressive. Appreciate the highlighted or shaded like percent of total that are we've talked before about medical being one of our top things. Top is 81.55% of calls. That's so top that I don't know if it wasn't in this kind of format that I would completely understand it in that capacity. So thank you for that.
Adam, question?
Go ahead.
Chief, today we buy, I guess I'll call it ambulance insurance. And I wanted to ask you, we of course have the medical first responders. And as far as I know, if you're dispatched to a scene and the person has to be individual transported to the hospital, we don't do that.
Yeah, we are non-transporting, correct?
Because we're not at that level. So our nearest private sector ambulance provider, I'll say, ends up doing that for our residents. And I guess my question to you is, we have a good relationship there. Can you just give me 2 minutes example of how that might work with?
Yeah, absolutely. Typically, most of the time, we actually have a Rockford ambulance station right here in town. They added that just because Cortland Station over the last 4 or 5 years has been consistently one of the highest running stations that they have from Rockford Ambulance. Typically, having them in town, most of the time, the ambulance actually beats us to the scenes in most cases. Not always, as we get to that point. But what we serve as an MFR getting to the scene first is we try to gather history, try to get medications, stuff like that, try to get the patient ready to be transported if they need to go down that path. If they need any emergency medical care, we are capable of doing epi, blood sugars. We can do Narcan. We can do a lot of stuff that goes through that. And we work really well with both the sheriff department as well as our transporting license ambulances. But there's also AMR and Life Ambulance as well out of Grant. And so there's quite a few.
So you're cooperative. So the resident knows that once you, shall we say, reach your limits in the sense they're there to step in and finish the transport.
Yep, absolutely. 90% of our calls are with Rockford Ambulance because they're the best response that we have here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. City Clerk, Mrs. DeSas.
So busy with election stuff. The August election is on August 4th. Early voting starts on July 25th. So that's what we've been preparing for the last couple weeks pretty heavily. I last month attended a conference in Kalamazoo for the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks and had some really good education sessions while at that. So that was very beneficial. Marty brought up the display sign that's out in the parking lot now. That's what we're utilizing for posting our notices. We didn't have an interior spot to put those in this building, and we thought it would be nice to put something by the drop box when people pull up, they can see it. So that's where those are going to be displayed here at this building. And we also ordered one similar to that for the cemetery that we're going to put the cemetery map in, and the cemetery updated rules will be out there as well. It's a condensed version of the rules. It's like the top, 15, 16 rules, and then a QR code to the full list of rules if anybody wants to read those. So that will be out there. I'm thinking probably in the next 5 or 6 weeks. We just ordered that. So one of the things that we did with the election was We were able to confirm 50 election workers for early voting. I don't think most people realize what a feat it is to staff early voting. It's a lot of work. And so as of this week, we have all of our workers confirmed. And all of those workers were all up for recertification this year as well. So we were able to coordinate with all of them to get them all recertified. So that was a pretty big task. One last thing that I want to mention, if you're not already aware, there has been new changes in the legislature in regards to the city council members' terms. So anybody that is running for office in November or is electing not to run for office in November, the new positions will not take place until after December 1st. So where you're normally ending in November, you will stay on for that month of November, or you will not start until the December meeting, depending on how that falls. So I just wanted to make all of you aware of that as well. Yep, you're on for another month. Thank you.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Do we have emails and texts going out on our support that tells people that where their new voting places?
So we will. Rebecca and I are actually meeting next week. We had one day this week that was dedicated completely to elections. And we have another day next week that we scheduled a half day, but it's probably going to have to turn into more. We have 2 election trainings. And I think we're going to talk about all of our social media postings when we have that. Yeah.
That is.
There was some confusion about that in the beginning because it is a election drop box that we were provided by the state, but we are allowed to use it for other means. So Cassie in our front office has a Cricut, and she was very nice and put little signs out there for us. And so hopefully the community now knows that they can use that for water bills or any other business.
Okay, do you have anything from the finance director? She's got her report. Okay, and code enforcement. All right, we're on to council comments then. Mr. Frazier.
Short and sweet. I think we had a productive meeting tonight. We heard a lot of voices from the citizens, which I appreciate, everybody coming in and stepping up and saying their piece. Excuse me. I look forward to some more council meetings, this productive. Hopefully, it turns out that, we can sit in a room and agree to disagree. And like I said, we're looking at a lot of familiar faces. Thank you for attending, and thank you, Ms. Mayor.
Thank you. Mrs. Powell?
Let me see. I went to the Heart Music last night. It was wonderful. Nice crowd. If you think you're at home and it's hot and it's icky, you don't want to go anyplace, go down there. It's nice and cool. It's just that crick cools it off. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the gentleman that was in here talking about not being able to be in the park at night. Well, it was a mess over in front of the library. There was cars and vans and people and dogs and all kinds of stuff going on. It had to stop. So it wasn't necessarily him, but he could have been hurt by the stuff that was going on down there. So we had to have something happen, and this is what happened. I don't know if he has a place to go in the evening. I know there's like maybe the Legion parking lot. I want to say that, but there's parking lots all over, but nobody can be camping in our city parks. And that's has to be there, because we were getting like every homeless person in the world living in our library parking lot. The other thing is, the, art out there. When we bought the property, I was really happy to think that we could have a parking lot on that lot for overflow parking for Skinner Field, which is, they're just jammed in there with all the activities that go on at Skinner Field. And if this fellow wants to put that art there, maybe over here would be a better spot. But if you're going to put something permanent in there, that maybe when the time comes, we can get a parking lot in there for folks. And we have huge meetings. We've got parking too. And see, I guess the Wi-Fi is only on for 8 hours now or 12 hours now. Was it? I thought it was like 24 in the past.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. Probably.
They close it at.
Yes, I guess I can speak as a former library board member
Betcha.
that there was quite a bit of discussion about that.
Yeah.
And people felt bad in a sense because the person who spoke here ended up letting us know that homelessness and the issue around that and where people are to go and how they may rely on just being able to communicate and using Wi-Fi and whatever. But it became a thing for us just to be able to address the library and the needs of the library. Everyone who uses and around, and I don't mean to be detrimental to it. It's not a business where you go there to have a hamburger and use their Wi-Fi. So a lot of discussion on that, but we ended up keeping it, for the use of the library. There was nothing ever targeted at any individuals or groups or anything.
I saw some awful stuff going on over there. So I'm glad that's ended.
Piece of Wi-Fi that the city does that's like at the bike trail. Didn't we use our COVID month for? I swear we did. That. Oh. And isn't it on the White Pine Trail at the bike? No, at the not the heart, but what is it called? Where people pull into the bike.
Oh, yeah. Staging.
Area. Staging area. What? Staging area that the city has 24 hours.
It's been a while since we switched up.
We had this conversation as part of the homeless issue when we talked about this ordinance, that the North Country Trail is a national trail. And as part of that, because again, I did the MOU on that, we had to agree to allow people to camp on the trail. Like that's the thing, like in that space off the edge of the trail, because people through hike it from Oregon to Maine. I mean, it's a thing. So, I mean, I had a concern at the time when we were passing that ordinance about what's going to happen if you have people that are trying to camp there. Okay, could we maybe like find some stuff out about like how extensive the Wi-Fi is, how much it covers, this distance, the Wi-Fi, when it's on, like a map, maybe a map, a Wi-Fi map. That might be a thing. Just, I don't know, for service for Jerry Hall back during it said, wouldn't it be great if we could have free Wi-Fi for the whole city? We've never obviously been able to make that happen, but having those hubs was super important during COVID for kids trying to do online school.
Okay, let's continue with comments. Are you finished? Okay, Mrs. Race.
Oh, it's been a good meeting. I'm glad that we had so many visitors. It's exciting to see red flannel being worn. I see a business card for Courtney. I hope I can get one from you. My daughter's birthday's coming up, so it might be a good gift. But just glad to see the camaraderie, hear about the history, and excited to move on from this. That's all I got. Thank you.
Mr. Howell.
A lot of history. We talk about history, people that I see in the audience and memories and going back. And I want to thank everyone here. I mean, I appreciate the staff in particular, but you are the members of the council. We had a lot of people coming forward with a lot of strong emotions about their feelings, about the community, red flannel and everything else. And I was proud and the fact that this community and this meeting handled it with respect. And people were able to say what they wanted to say and feel comfortable about it and express it and have no concern whatsoever. And I think that's wonderful. So I thank you very much for being part of this. And I challenge the manager to take us another decade ahead and see what kind of projects she's got going for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Conley.
People reached out to me about all the people and then all the people who are here. Thank you. It's wonderful. And I'm a transplant. I did not grow up here. I'm from Flint. And I got to tell you, I've lived here since 1999. And the warm red flannel welcome is all that and then some. And I travel all over the country and everybody's oh yes, the red. Well, they all marched in the parade as marching band people. As a high school teacher, I hear about that all the time. So it's a huge, wonderful thing that you all have. And I love how fiercely you treasure it and protect it and honor it. And my dad used to say, dance with who brung you. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Once again, thank everybody for coming and sharing with us your thoughts, opinions, and how much you still want to be Red Flannel Town. I didn't grow up here, but my aunt is Linda Hunt. And if you know anything about Linda, you know that she, whatever she's into, you better be into. And we were here every year. And I also marched in the parade. We came here for the band competition every year. So I feel like I've always been a part of Red Flannel, whether I lived here or not. And I think a lot of people in the surrounding towns and villages feel the same way. So I don't want to cause a rift between the city and the festival again. I think that we embrace each other. And I know that our city manager is diligently working with the festival every year to make sure things are happening and happening well. So I'm glad that you all showed up. And with that, we're adjourned.